If you were trying to land a high ticket sales role, stop watching motivational videos. That's not what actually gets you hired. There's a very specific set of action steps to take that will make companies want to bring you on even without years of experience. And in this video, I'm going to break down that exact process in order so you can position yourself the right way and actually land a role. So, at this point in your journey, you've already built a skill set of appointment setting and you've already done massive amounts of outreach. If you're still confused as to what outreach looks like, you can go back to some of my prior videos where I break down that process and show you the exact template that you should be sending to potential clients. But just for the sake of this video, I'll show you a brief example as to what my outreach looked like back in the day. So, this is a client that I reached out to on Instagram. And this is kind of the intro message that I used. The very first one is just personalizing to their offer. You're outreaching saying, hey, this guy is in the fitness niche, obviously. So it's great to see an expert in your field using social media to help more people, especially in the fitness niche. And then you follow that up with, sorry to come in cold here. I was curious if you're looking for a seasoned appointment setter to join your sales team and help scale your business. At this point in my journey, I had a little bit of experience, so it's good to throw that into your outreach messages. A lot of you guys watching this video probably don't have experience, so just go ahead and skip this part here and then follow up that second message with, if so, is it cool if I send over a quick video introduction? I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. And then if you do enough volume, you'll eventually get somebody that will reply and ask for that Loom video. So kind of in the position that you're in, I understand you likely don't have experience, and that's okay. Everybody starts with zero experience in order to build that experience. So I'll kind of, dive into what that looks like and how you should approach that without experience. So once they reply asking for you to send over that video introduction, it is very important that you're honest. If you have zero experience, be sure to highlight that. You can use this exact framework and say, I haven't had an opportunity, but I'm in a position where I desperately want to prove to myself and to you, the business owner, that I have what it takes to find success and grow your business with you. So like experience isn't necessary. Obviously, it's good to have that. It will get you to a point where you can land a better paying role, with more opportunity. But in the early stages, you'd be surprised how many business owners are willing to take a chance on you if you prove to them that you're somebody that will do the work. And if you truly believe that deep down, that what you're pitching to them is legit and you mean what you say, the conviction in your message and in your voice in the Loom video will speak for itself. But you truly have to be somebody that is willing to put in the time to help them grow their business. That's what they want to do. They don't want to have to micromanage somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, that isn't willing to put in the time and attention. If you are somebody that thinks you're going to get on this offer and you're going to work 2 hours a day and manage their inbox and then go screw around with your friends for the rest of the day, like, I'm sorry, you don't have what it takes. And they're going to see that. They're going to see right through you. So you have to be somebody that is willing to put in the time. In the early stages for myself, I was working 12 hours a day, Monday through Sunday. I mean, that's easy. You're sitting there managing an inbox. You are replying to clients. You're doing outreach. You're following up. I mean, it's very simple to do. And if you're somebody that wants to find success in this space, you have to be willing to do that. Work like a madman, and you will get an opportunity if you present yourself the right way. So if the business owner likes what he hears on your Loom video, it is very likely that they will reach back out to you and ask to set up an interview. And this moment in time is the most important kind of part of the journey to actually landing a role. You need to do as much due diligence as possible. You need to take a deep dive and do a bunch of research on their offer specifically, what they sell, and kind of build your knowledge in that aspect. If you resonate with the offer, if you are very knowledgeable in that kind of niche, they will have a lot of confidence in you to bring you on and work as a sales rep beneath them. So it's very important that you do as much research as possible on their specific offer. Study the niche, study what they sell specifically to their client, understand who their ideal client would be, who would even be interested in buying their mentorship in the first place. And most importantly, when you get on this interview, they're probably going to ask to do like a role play of, what a conversation would look like, what you would say to this client that is inbound wanting to buy their kind of coaching program. So I can show you some very basic like setting scripts to follow that you can apply to your specific offer, but it's important that you understand what you're getting yourself into, and what kind of conversation that you're going to be having with this business owner. So it's important to do as much research as possible and prepare for absolutely anything, and understand all you can about their offer specifically. With all the research that you've done, you are obviously going to come into this interview with a lot of knowledge and a lot of confidence about what they do specifically and how you can help them. So it's very important to stand out in this interview. And a great way to go about that is having a list of some very high level questions to ask the business owner. Majority of people trying to get into the space, they get on an interview and they just kind of sit all stiff, as the business owner asks them a bunch of questions, and then that's all they really do is answer some basic questions about themselves, and they're just like one of 50 other appointment setters that have already tried to get on this offer. So having these high level questions is going to show the business owner that you are knowledgeable, you understand how this space works, you understand more about their offer, and you're diving into the deeper back end technical stuff that is very important to understand when helping them scale their business. So first things first, you're going to want to ask if they're posting content consistently. That's most important. If the business owner is doing what they need to do, obviously you'll do what you need to do, and you guys are a team here, so it goes hand in hand. But if they're posting content once every week, there's not enough action for you. There's not going to be enough traffic. There's not going to be enough people coming in to have these conversations with and set them on appointments. So after you ask if they're posting content consistently, you want to ask a rough estimate as to how many leads are coming in on a day-to-day basis, so you can understand the amount of volume that you are going to get, and more about KPIs, which is a key performance indicator. If they have 50 leads coming in, you want to try and set two or three of them. That's a good number to start with, and then obviously you can continue to grow from there. Sometimes they'll have multiple platforms that they are posting on, that they're kind of selling their service on, so you want to ask them if they have any social media platforms outperforming others. You could work as a setter on their Instagram, you can work as a setter on their school community, you can work as a setter on freaking Facebook. Whatever is doing the best is where you're going to want to end up. So it's important to understand which platforms are doing the best, so you can get in front of those leads. You're going to want to ask what their vision is for the business. You want to work with somebody that is a good entrepreneur, somebody that is trying to grow themselves. They're already at a point where they've gotten to a good spot, but they have a bigger vision. They have other steps that they're trying to climb. If you are working with somebody that, only wants to scale this business to $5,000, this is just a little side hustle for them, then there's really nothing in this for you. You can work with those companies starting out, but there are millions and millions of info product businesses out there, and value your time and your work. There are so many places that you can end up that you shouldn't be wasting time on some entrepreneur with a poor vision that doesn't really care about this business. Yeah, you want to work with somebody that is putting in the work on a day-to-day basis, as you are going to be doing the exact same thing. So you want to make sure that they have a strong vision, they have strong goals for their business, and an urgency to continue to grow, and that's where you come in. In some cases, these coaches do have different tiers of mentorship. So you want to ask them what their services are specifically, take a deep dive into all the back end work of what they sell and what that looks like. But you want to ask if there's different tiers of coaching. A lot of coaches out there have, a downsell coaching kind of mentorship, like a bronze tier. There's going to be a silver tier and there's going to be a gold tier. And every single one of the tiers of mentorship will have a different ticket price. So it's very important to understand what they sell specifically, the cost of investment, all that good stuff. But probably the most important question here, what I believe is the most important question that's really going to get the business owner to think long term and really give you like an idea as to what they expect from you, is asking them this question right here. And it's as simple as saying, if we decide to do business together today, how will you know that you made the right choice, say in 3 to 6 months from now? They're going to take a second to kind of consider that question, and they'll give you their answer. But what they're giving you is exactly what they expect from you. So you know where they're trying to go with this business and how you will help them. So they're going to say, so on and so forth. If you help me grow this business to $50,000 a month, if we're able to get 5 appointments set per day, 10 appointments set per day, whatever. If the inbound traffic grows to this number, whatever it may be, they're giving you the exact answer as to what they expect from you, what they want to see in 3 to 6 months from now. It'll give you that long-term vision from the business owner and what to expect and how to perform for them as you continue to move on with this business in the future. Now, I know I just went over a lot. There's a lot of information and there's a lot of things to consider when getting on these roles, and there's a lot of work to be done on your end. But it's a very simple process, and the most important thing to understand is be yourself. Don't try and impress anybody. Don't show up to the interview wearing a suit and tie. I mean, if that's what you wear on a day-to-day basis, cool. Rock what you wear. But we don't do that. People don't do that. I don't expect you guys to be dressing in a suit and tie on a day-to-day basis. So be yourself. Show up to the interview looking professional. Wear a quarter zip, wear a polo, wear a nice sweater, whatever it may be. Don't try and do too much. And if you apply all the things that I mentioned in this video, if you do your research, if you do everything that you need to do in order to prepare and actually position yourself in the best way possible to land an offer, that's going to speak for itself. Your suit and tie isn't going to impress anybody. Your voice and your words and your knowledge and the way that you carry yourself is what they look for. They don't care if you're in a sweatshirt or a suit and tie. I don't recommend wearing a sweatshirt. I recommend looking professional, obviously, but they don't care about how you look. They care about the value that you are going to bring to them in their business. So if you were somebody that is stuck trying to figure out the best way possible and the best way to position yourself in order to land a role in high ticket sales, and you're feeling lost, you're confused, and you're overwhelmed with the best possible way to make this happen, DM me the word setter on Instagram. I got a few open slots where I can personally guide you one-on-one and show you how to get to this point and how to do this properly in order to actually land your first role in high ticket sales and get on track to earning the initial $2,000 to $5,000 per month.